Good evening, Oswego. Welcome to another edition of Laker Lowdown, your home for exclusive Oswego State Athletics. I'm Mike Toper.
And I'm Jenna Wen. Coming up tonight, we've got the first hockey action of the season. Also, Matt Armstrong sits down for an intimate interview with head coach Ed Gosick.
But first, in thinking about the first scrimmage of the season for men's hockey, one can't help but dwell on the past. After all, the Lakers graduated 13 seniors. And besides that, you can look at history even further. After all, Ben Franklin once stated that a life of leisure and a life of laziness are two things. There will be sleeping enough in the grave. Now, what does that even mean? Well, the Lakers held a two-day hockey schedule that would make anyone exhausted. The men's season officially started practice last Thursday, and between midnight and game time on Saturday, they practiced 6 times. Suffice it to say, they were ready to go when Royal Military College skated into the campus center this past Saturday. Royal Military College skating into the Campus Center Arena this past Saturday night, and the Lakers would get on the board first. Neil Musselwhite feeds Brad Dorminey for the first goal of the season, putting Oswego up 1-0. Later on in the period, Chris Ayotte with the slap shot, putting Oswego up 2-0, and all three different goalies for Oswego saw action as well. We'll start with Paul Beckwith, thought to be the incumbent starter with Tim Potter now gone. He made 7 saves in the first period. However, he also let in one of his own. Here's Robert Graydon from RMC, getting it past Beckwith and drawing RMC within 2-1. Move over to the second period now. We'll get a look at Kyle Gunn-Taylor, the transfer from Buff State. He made 1 save, but just like Beckwith, also let in one of his own. Here's Landon Lavictoire. He scores even the game at 2 apiece, and that is as close as the men in red would get. Tyler Lyon now with the shot. Matt Singleton cleans up the trash in front of the net, putting Oswego up 3-2. 5 different freshmen scored on the night for the men in green and gold. Move to the third period now. Luke Moody scores, putting Oswego up 5-3. And then RMC trying to make a game of it. Mitchell Smith coming down the ice unassisted, drawing within 2 at 5-3. Only 18 shots on goal for the Royal Military College to Oswego's 32. Chris Langonier gets the feed from Luke Moody, and the Lakers start to run away with this one. They scored 4 goals in the third period in front of a sellout crowd, and they go on to win 7-3. And we'll switch gears a little bit over to the pitch. After 5 games on the road, the men's soccer team was happier to be home than Rosie O'Donnell after an all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet. Hoping to push its standing to the SUNYAC Conference, the Lakers had a double-decker this past weekend at home. First up with the Brockport Golden Eagles. Being held this past Friday at Laker Field, German Collazo being knocked down early in the first half. Being helped up, he'd be okay, though. He's tough. Later on, over 1 minute to go in the first period, Jeff Palumbo with the corner kick and Jamie Crum with the magnificent header. Did it go in or didn't it? Both teams aren't sure. The Golden Eagles signaling that they have it. Oswego pleading their case, but you can see as the ball clearly crosses the line past goalie Matt Wapperer, and indeed the referee agrees. Brockport takes a 1-0 advantage. Now in the 83rd minute, Greg Blett with a magnificent header past the diving goalie. That ties the game up at 1 apiece, and this one would need double overtime as Brad Lafort gives the pass to Steve Agregarian. Wonderful. In the back of the pitch, the back of the onion bag, rather. Brockport takes a 2-1 victory. Our own Gary Ade was there.
A lot of people said this game was kind of a must-win for you guys. How big of a loss was this, and can you guys rebound?
It's a tough loss, especially in overtime, but it could have easily been our win. Got another tough conference game again tomorrow at Geneseo, and I'm sure we'll regroup, and we need to get another big win tomorrow to stay in it. About
the goal in the first half, kind of controversial, didn't really look like it crossed the line. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, but they scored it, and the referees don't change their calls too much. So we could have put away some opportunities in the first half as well, but we didn't.
While Oswego did lose this crucial game to Brockport, both coaches and players seem confident that this team will be able to rebound against Geneseo tomorrow. We will see. That game will be at 3 o'clock right here at Laker Field. For WTOP, I'm Gary Ade, and that's the way the cards lie.
Now, we've already shown you the men's ice hockey team had a strong performance against Royal Military College in exhibition play Saturday, but what is the current state of the team from a coach's perspective? Laker Lowdown's own Matt Armstrong was able to sit down with head coach Ed Gosick in order to find that answer.
During last year's SUNYAC championships against bitter rival Plattsburgh State, Oswego was on the doorstep of a postseason run, only to see that window of opportunity then slammed in their face. Rising from defeat, head coach Ed Gosick starts his season forging a new tradition along the shores of Lake Ontario. New teammates, new season.
You spoke of your captains. Why did you go with them this year?
No, it's not always seniors. There's years where they're seniors and we don't make them captains. This year, however, the three of them being the last three players to have been on that national championship team spoke volumes. I think they truly represent what we want out of our program. They clearly lead by example on the ice. They clearly lead, in the classroom with respecting the teachers, respecting their fellow students here on campus, and those are the things to us that are clearly important. That in the big picture of things, the effort, the respect, the tradition here, those are things that we thought these three captains would carry on with our program.
Your expectations, you've got 13 new kids coming in. How do you go about meshing the old with the new and making sure that it doesn't throw off that team chemistry that has been so present through this Laker hockey team?
So far what we see has been very good team chemistry. They feel comfortable. The returners are treating them the way that we would hope they would. And so, I don't see any click groups. I don't see a separation of the 14 returners, the 14 new guys. I see it as a group of 28 that is working together collectively for the good of the team.
Let's go back to one last thing from last season. There's a lot of talk and a lot of speculation on the streets as to what exactly happened with Tim Potter and his departure. As much as you can, try and set the record straight for everyone so that, there's no more of this. I heard through the grapevine that this happened for these reasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've heard a ton of things out there. My normal response to you would be is that, we don't like to comment on guys that have left the program before they graduate. But, the truth is that, at the end of the year, we meet with each player. And at that point, as we said to him, hey, there's no guarantees. Never was it said that, you'd be let go or that you wouldn't be part of it. The possibility was there, along with the rest of our guys. The way that the season went, and some things that happened, that on ice things that happened, should clarify, that really we felt that our goaltending situation still wasn't where it needed to be. So with that said, unfortunately, he never told us he wasn't coming back, and we wish him the best. We're moving on, he's moving on, and hey, the biggest question mark for us again this season will be our goaltending. As our goaltending goes, will be how good we can be this year.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, part 2 of Matt's interview with Ed Gosick. Stay tuned. Laker Lowdown, back in 90.